Villa kick off. Here's Daly, who has had special attention from Leeds United tactically in previous meetings here. But Leeds, knowing that they have to look for more than just a containing operation here. And Brian Dean with a brisk beginning down the left, getting his cross in. David White, who's, as Andy Gray was saying, got a useful record on this ground. Saunders. Townsend trying to push on. Gets the run of the ball against Gary Kelly, a fellow member of the Republic of Ireland squad these days. Daly. Another of the Irish on view today. Steve Staunton bending in the cross as he loves to do. Saunders chasing. A real surprise selection really for Aston Villa. They virtually ruled him out. They took a chance taking him on the aeroplane to Tenerife for their sunshine break, and the sunshine did the trick for Dean Saunders so far. There's an element of worry in the Villa camp about how long their striker will last.
I think they were comfortable to take that gamble, Mark, with Dwight York proving his fitness in the cup tie last week. But one area to look at in particular today, which could be really exciting, is Tony Daly against Gary Kelly. A real clash of pace if ever I saw one.
Kelly's throw. Here is Daly. Atkinson, who is now not on the transfer list, having asked for a move following a contretemps with Ron Atkinson recently at Chelsea.
Just thinking back to Leeds at Ewood Park recently, Martin, and particularly the midfield area. I just wonder that, not naive wouldn't be the word, but all four players were looking to go forward and then at times left the back four exposed to any breaks. I just wonder if Gary McAllister in particular will be the one to just hold a little bit in midfield and allow Strachan, Speed and Hodge to go forward.
White. Here is Hodge. He didn't have the happiest time in Villa's colours. Well, Daly and Atkinson were certainly offside. Saunders had the ball and the shot was irrelevant.
But I would always be worried. I would always be worried when you're playing against pace and you step up for offside. No doubt Atkinson was. I'm not so sure Saunders was.
Dean heading on. Atkinson, there's no flag. Chris Fairclough in pursuit. Atkinson just veering further to the left than he would have wanted.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. You gamble, you push up. I think it might have been offside. Certainly from here, it looked as if he may have been offside. But the only thing that helped Leeds out here is that Daly and Atkinson's going off his left side. No, he certainly looked as if he was offside. But when he goes there, this is his weak side. Never confident on it, and I think that shows with his shot.
McAllister. A lot of room here for Gary Kelly. Strachan's ahead of him, staying onside, in behind Aston Villa.
Well, that's the type of move and the type of cross when you really do need someone attacking the front post. There's no reason why David White shouldn't be getting there. His run's too late, and because of that, the goalkeeper has an easy save. But Strachan was furious no one made that run.
Well, it was David White who was closest to that area to attack the cross. White, who had a spell as a forward player at Oxford in the cup tie last weekend, but in his previous matches, in his short time as a Leeds player, he's been on the right of midfield. He, of course, chopped and changed between those two roles in his time at Manchester City. Strachan with the corner. Saunders clearing.
Don't know if it's going to be par for corners from Villa marking, but I just wonder if that's the respect that Gary Speed has from Villa, that Paul McGrath was marking him at that corner. When you look at Dean and Newsom and Fairclough, all very much bigger than Speed. Is that a little something to say, hey, we respect the way you can climb?
Gary Speed, in fact, now the joint leading scorer for Leeds United with 10 goals. A number on which Rodney Wallace has become becalmed because of his persistent hamstring problems. Newsom. Strachan, such a good friend, of course, of Ron Atkinson's. Played under him at Manchester United, almost moved under him to Sheffield Wednesday until Leeds came in with a better offer. Atkinson a bit perturbed about the way that Newsom got the better of him, but the referee saw nothing wrong.
Referees never give anything here, and I think they're quite right not to. You see there, John Newsom, total control, gets his body between Daly and Atkinson and the ball, out of play it goes.
Well, Ron Atkinson certainly not taking anything for granted in the cup competitions. Villa are doing so well in. He wants a successful surge up the table. The Leeds have ambitions in qualifying for Europe from league placings of their own. And that's really the nub of today's contest, which has had a bright beginning. And another Leeds corner. James Speed trying to get in. But it was a straightforward bread and butter piece of goalkeeping for Mark Bosnich.
Well, Villa are after going to get the corners sorted out, because in that particular one, Brian Deane was stood at the back post with no one, and I mean no one, marking him. Again, McGrath follows Speed.
Kelly clearly handled. His defence was that he was pushed onto the ball by Daly. Villa have already taken the free kick. Too deep from Saunders. Teal tight on White. Townsend getting the better of McAllister. Oh, Barrett almost getting in his way. And he couldn't find an angle so that Townsend could find him.
I think there are already signs that there's more discipline to Gary McAllister's role today. He certainly seems to be holding a little bit deeper in that midfield area.
But Leeds, given the need for victory, haven't gone the route that has brought them some success in recent away games by playing an extra defender. It's often been John Pemberton, with Chris Fairclough given a marking job, most notably, of course, against Eric Cantona at Old Trafford on New Year's Day.
Well, when Mel Sterling was talking about the 4-1 victory he played in here the last couple of years at Villa Park, Chris Fairclough marked Tony Daly that day man for man. But I think it's an example of the confidence they have in young Gary Kelly and his pace in particular, that have said, no, you go on, you go in against them head to head.
Barrett. 7 is Houghton, who's really been back at his best recently after a hesitant start to his season. And Houghton earns Aston Villa a corner at the Holt end of Villa Park. And McGrath's come up. Only pass fit an hour or so before the kick-off. Staunton plays it short. Houghton can't collect. Richardson hits it first time, and one of those sweeping snapshots that can catch goalkeepers out, but Richardson was off target.
Because he didn't expect it, I don't think. This is obviously going to Ray Houghton. Kevin Richards has to react late, but he's shown us in recent games, particularly against West Ham here at Villa Park, that he can strike them very confidently from that type of range.
Teal and Dean on his challenge. I say that in the light of what happened at Grimsby when Teal retaliated, of course, to the elbow that came his way from Steve Livingston. Both players red-carded. Hodge. Damaged knees and all, still nimble enough to get there before White. Nicely played by Speed. Hodge trying to return it to him. Andy, you mentioned that 4-1 game. And Lee Chapman did some damage that day, and he's one player that I don't think McGrath always relished coming up against. Had a good record against Aston Villa in Leeds colours.
But he's a competitor, I'll tell you that about Paul McGrath. All the time I've played against him and known him, I've never known him take a back step in any challenge, and so competitive, and there was no doubt, even when there was a slight worry about his fitness, I thought to myself, if there's one man you get back to play when he's carrying an injury, it's certainly Paul McGrath.
Daly, now maybe a chance for this sprinting showdown with Kelly, but Strachan decides he ought to take a hand. He can't do that. And Kelly, in the end, has to make a challenge, and the outcome is a corner. Well, we said before, the difficulty with dealing with Tony Daly is even he at times doesn't know what he's going to come up with, but it can be so explosive in attacking sense for Aston Villa. Richardson. Early cross by Townsend. Atkinson going in. Fairclough meets it. It drops for Daly. And it drops tamely into the fans.
Never looked set to hit the target there. Never over it. Never comfortable with it, Tony Daly. He takes a decent position. Anything coming out is going to land about there. But look, leaning back, never had his knee over the ball at all. And it was always going up.
Daly turns Kelly, who chasing back now with the advantage of not having the ball, but Daly kept it. But after pushing Kelly, who found some speed in overdrive, and he needed to.
I didn't see an awful lot wrong with Tony Daly's challenge. I mean, this must be worrying if you're Ron Atkinson. Look at how easily he gets back in there. I don't know whether he just overran the ball, Gary Kelly. The referee certainly thought he saw Tony Daly pull at him. I'm not so sure. But if Gary Kelly was needed any confidence about his ability to cope with the pace, he got it there.
Well, of course, he will have learnt that if you get too tight up by the halfway line, you can get turned. McAllister. Teal and Strachan both appealing. Jimmy Borrett has pointed for Leeds United. Leeds, who've gone 5 league games without a win. 4 of those were drawn, and of course they were beaten in the dying seconds by Alan Shearer at Blackburn. Well, they would be the first to admit that they should have been sunk without trace long before that. Newsom, a bit of a touch. Away by Townsend. Newsom heading it on. White with Earl Barrett falling awkwardly.
Well, they're looking, the fans in particular are looking for a back pass, but there's no case here at all. You watch our back going in, and under the challenge, he's totally whacked by David White there, and there's no control over where that ball's going. It was noticeable. None of the Leeds players, I don't think, were ever looking for a back pass there.
White is clear here. 3 in the centre for David White to try and find a deflection off McGrath. Took it beyond Hodge, beyond the far post.
First touch, he set up ball, let him down, David White.
Speed with a longish throw. White. Dean. Oh, actually, that hit his teammate Steve Hodge, who did the defending on behalf of Aston Villa. That's well claimed by Saunders. No sign of pain from the problematic back then. Houghton sliding it down for Daly. It'll come for Daly and Atkinson here. Well, whether Beanie would have needed to save it, I don't think it would have been a difficult save. It was a bit of a mishit. It hit Fairclough and it's a corner.
This is a total mishit. On his strong side as well. He really would have fancied that, Daly and Atkinson, as it rolled across to him.
The opening quarter of an hour has brought the sort of enterprise in keeping with past fixtures between Aston Villa and Leeds United. Newsom got the ball, and also Townsend was caught in the face. Townsend getting back into midfield, and at the moment requiring the trainer, although now with the game stopped, Jim Walker's being beckoned on.
You see the blood there.
Well, they call him Beaky, Andy Townsend, and I'm afraid John Newsom's head, which was being moved towards the ball, and got the ball indeed, also went back into the bridge of Andy Townsend's nose. Maybe it was the elbow there, but it was certainly nothing sinister.
I think that's what we've always got to be careful about these days, Martin. I'd hate to see every aerial challenge scrutinised and players accused of elbowing people. You could see John Newsom there. His eye was totally on the ball. He followed its flight. And if you're jumping, then invariably you use your arms for leverage. It's got to happen. You just can't jump if you don't. And I think that's all that happened in that case.
A real contrast in the preparations for this game between the two clubs. A trip for Aston Villa, sun on their backs. And on Thursday, it was snowing heavily in West Yorkshire. Wintry weather for Leeds to get their act together. The deflection from Atkinson's shot came for Saunders, for Houghton rather, and he couldn't turn, although the crowd were yelling him to do that. Now crosses, and Beanie able to hold the header from Atkinson.
Two good opportunities. And this is the Atkinson there. Look at the back post. He's got himself free, and he's always going to win that. It's not an easy angle, and he didn't have a big target to aim at.
Bailey and Atkinson, who led West Ham and Merry Dance in the last league game on this ground. They won it 3-1. They've really played in fits and starts in front of their home supporters. Only once before have they achieved this season home wins back-to-back in the Premiership. That was back in the autumn, and even in between those two games against Chelsea and Sheffield United, they contrived to go out of Europe at home. So there's something of a hoodoo, and Leeds hoping to cash in on that, but in their eagerness, Ryan Dean finding himself tackled by David White. And White's limping after that. All a mess of errors from Howard Wilkinson's men, his two front men in fact. Teal, now Daly. Atkinson, hoping to get behind Fairclough. Richardson, Barrett moving forward, easily read by Hodge. Leeds can counter-attack here. Hodge carrying on to the left. Dean on the ball, Strachan to the right. And Strachan trying to make space for the cross against Staunton. He's done that, but the cross itself just carrying on beyond Bosnich's crossbar. Mark Bosnich and Gordon Strachan know each other well from their time together at Manchester United. Bosnich, who didn't get to Tenerife because the paperwork wasn't in order regarding his passport. Bosnich has to deal with work permits and visas. As an Australian guest in our football. Teal.
That's what I mean about Ray Houghton, Martin. He'll come all the way across to this left side to get himself involved. But full marks to Tony Dorigo, who tracked him all the way.
Speed. Kelly. And the Daly and Atkinson forward for Aston Villa. Now Saunders more alongside him. And Staunton, whose passing ability is one of his strengths. But he's been under treatment this week. He's had a sore ankle. And Jim Walker has to come on the pitch, not for Staunton, but to check out Daly and Atkinson. Cox on the right, and Dwight York, who seemed destined to have his first start of the season because of Dean Saunders' injury. York was hurt himself pre-season on a trip to Japan. He tore a thigh muscle. Newsom. Caught offside.
Well, there's no doubt defensively Leeds they're going to track runners at all times when they can, when necessary, but as soon as they've cleared it, they're going to push up, they're going to make Saunders and Atkinson work back towards their own goal as much as possible. At the moment it's working for them. There's always that chance, as we saw earlier, of them getting caught.
Halfway through the first half, Newsom's free kick. Brian Dean homing in on it. McGrath had his measure. Kelly from Strachan's clever pass. Kelly's cross, and Teal against his own bar. Lucky Villa. McAllister. White. Dorigo whips it in. It comes for Kelly. Hodges right in there. And Leeds claiming that there was a push by Teal, who's the central figure very much at the moment. Could Atkinson take that with the upper arm? And no flag from the linesman. He's running fair clough. He's got Saunders trying to get in front of Dorigo in the centre, and it's a corner.
Well, Sean Teal has to go for this, I feel. He's got no other option but to put his head on us, because Brian Dean's right behind him and couldn't fail to score. He gets a bit of luck on that occasion, but I think he knew he had to make a touch on the ball. He rode his luck and got away with it.
Newsom puts it behind for another corner. The other question, of course, was as Villa counter-attack, did Atkinson ease the ball on with his arm to win the first corner? Villa sustaining the pressure. Staunton is a real specialist in his set-piece positions. Teal coming round the back.
Of course, there's a few Leeds fans that were asking the question even before that. Did Sean Teal ease Steve Hodge out the play at the other end?
one wasted by Kevin Richardson. Well, there have been one or two own goals debited to Sean Teal since he's been in the Villa side. I think it comes from his courage in always attacking the ball when it's crossed.
Well, there's no doubt he had to get there, Martin. I think that's the thing they pay him a compliment on. But the rest was good fortune.
There's Teal again, but the header goes straight to speed. Well claimed by Bosnich. Right from the eyebrows of Hodge.
Probably happier that this is Steve Hodge and not Brian Deane going in on the end of this. But I tell you what, I don't think it would have made any difference. His eyes are firmly fixed on the ball. That's great goalkeeping.
Newsom. Hodge, who's not been given the warmest of welcomes back to Villa Park. By his own admission, he didn't do himself justice in his 15 months here in the mid-80s.
No, he didn't, Martin, but in his defence, he didn't play in a great Villa side in the mid-80s either. He's a talented player, Steve Hodge.
White. The ripple of the net as the ball hit it on the outside.
It's ambitious, but I think against a goalkeeper of Mark Bosnich's quality, it would need to be better than that. But just before that, this is the instant where Sean Teal and Steve Hodge. As it's saying, Hodge is trying to get his body. I think, nah, in my opinion, no. Teal's entitled to use his body strength, his weight, to go and get a header in there.
It was Hodge who rescued Leeds in the 1-1 draw the last time the two sides met, 17 months ago at Elland Road. Gary Parker had given Ron Atkinson's team the lead. Daly. So dependable Kevin Richardson. Staunton. Well, Fuller just meandering the ball around in midfield, and they get their free kick. And now perhaps a greater chance to hurt Leeds United. Both centre-backs again. They've made their way into the penalty area. Lofted in by Richardson. Albini, I would say, was aware that he could let that one run. He's a goalkeeper who's confident coming for the high balls.
That's one of the problems when you bend it in. The right foot from the left side is if you get a little bit too much on it, then it'll just run harmlessly out of play like that. It's always the advantage of the left footer taking it. Even if it's a little bit strong, the ball's going to stay in play.
Attacking it well, but not in the mind of the referee. Well in terms of attitude, but not in terms of technique. Here's McGrath. McAllister. Garrido just backing off towards the touchline to make space for himself. Good work off the ball from Deane as well to make the pass possible. Deane, who scored on this ground for Sheffield United last season. I just feel watching him in recent games that he'd love to lift his spirits with a goal for Leeds. Hasn't had the best of times, possibly hasn't had the best of service from wide positions. A chance for Garrido to get across in here, but not for long, because characteristically Ray Houghton closed him down and got the ricochet as well. Houghton wanting to up the tempo and finding that his front players weren't on the same wavelength. Diego cuts it off. All McGrath can do is put it out of play. The ball and the responsibility passed to Gary Speed. Dean just able to meet it in the nick of time, and Richardson with an excellent clearance in the circumstances. And Saunders standing his ground, really welcoming the nudge in the back from Newsom, because there wasn't much support there, and Villa happy to get the free kick, which they've played short. Staunton. Haven't seen too much of Daly as yet. Now Townsend. Saunders. Progress from the midfield area. More menace about Leeds United and David White. Speed joining Dean in the centre. Hodge coming in from the left. Well, they're the greatest danger at the moment to their own goal, the two centre-backs. First Teal hitting the underside of the bar, and then McGrath lying on the ground, almost beseeching the ball to go wide here.
Well, he's going to go for it again because he knows he's in trouble. But he certainly doesn't know he's going to hook it back towards goal. And 6 inches more to the right as we looked at it. And Mark Bosnich could have done nothing.
It's Fairclough who headed it down. Villa who pulled everyone back, and there was no way out for them when the ball was cleared. Kelly, of course, was an attacker until this season. Hodge. Drops to Strachan. And it flew off Steve Staunton for another corner.
Good bit of pressure from Leeds. For the first time in the match, really, a side is exerted a little pressure for some time. They've cancelled each other out at the moment, I feel.
Movement again at the set piece. It didn't run for Strachan.
It needed to go in. Off Gary Kelly. The idea was, I'm sure, for Kelly just to put a little curling right foot across into the box as Villa were pushing out.
Well, it is quite a contrast. Aston Villa's form, home and away. They've lost only 2 of 21 matches on their travels. Perhaps they'll feel happy that their next 2 cup ties are both away as well. Tranmere and at either Bolton or Arsenal. White.
Well, the problem Leeds had there, quite simply, is that both front men were wide. Brian Dean and David White had linked up in the move. Dean has laid it off to him, and he's so far away that he can't get in. That's when he needs support from the midfield players to break into the box.
Brave there, and has paid a bit of a price for it in conjunction with Townsend. There was one that was there to be fought for.
It looks like his arm they're holding here. Jim Walker seemed to have hold of Andy Townsend's arm.
Well, a blooded nose earlier in the half, and now problem to the wrist maybe. This is how it happened, Andy.
And you can see they both are very committed to this, and Brian Dean gets there. And I'm not so sure he just catches him with his putting his boot through. Just catches his arm and just cuts it a little bit with the studs.
The incident occurred, it looked as though Brian Dean would have more trouble, but he's ready to soldier on. Noel Whelan on the left and John Pemberton, the 2 Leeds United substitutes, along of course with goalkeeper John Lukic. Well, catch him young. And you're a supporter then for the rest of your life.
know, she wanted much longer to go there with her dad and stand on his shoulders.
Well, 10 minutes to go to half-time. The statistics say that Villa have had a significant amount of possession, but they haven't put it to great use. Leeds looking together much more coordinated than they were at Blackburn 2 weeks ago. Much tighter and much tidier and much more dangerous. Townsend penalised, McAllister, brain racing, trying to get White racing for a quick free kick.
And I mentioned it briefly, Martin, they really are cancelling each other out at the moment. And I think particularly in the midfield area. Not one of the 8 midfield players playing today is really dominating the game in any way at all.
Well, Townsend trying to change that. And McAllister for Leeds. Staunton stops him. It's a useful ball from speed, is it? It's just too long for White, who applauds the intention.
Intention was very good because Steve Staunton's caught out of position. Speed realises that, and so does White, and he keeps himself onside, but the pass, a little bit too much weight on it.
Kelly. Bit of play here between Teal and Staunton, and it ends with Leeds getting a throw. They'll be quite happy with that to keep this sense of anxiety amongst the home supporters, who have seen Aston Villa struggle too often for their liking on this ground, where they should be so much more comfortable, of course. Dorigo, who wrote to Aston Villa from Australia asking for a trial, and for the price of a letter, really, they got a very fine player that they sold to Chelsea for coming on for £500,000, if memory serves me right, so it was good business all round. Fairclough. Coming up for you on Sky Sports, we move to the FA Cup, the 4th round replay at Kenilworth Road. Can David Pleat's battling side get the better of Kevin Keegan's entertainers, Newcastle United? Atkinson, Houghton, and it looked the moment that Houghton touched the ball that Saunders was offside, and that's what the linesman saw.
Just for a moment I felt there was hope there for Aston Villa. They broke very quickly and they get 4 men in the movement. You look at that, 4 claret and blue shirts, all very well forward there, but Houghton fractionally offside. And Howard Wilkinson will be the happier of the 2 managers at the moment.
If there's anything to please Ron Atkinson, is that McGrath and Saunders have, in terms of fitness, justified their selections. Both something of a gamble.
McGrath's never a gamble, I tell you, Mark, honestly. People talk about this guy all the time, they're right. You have to carry him off to get him off the park. He never walks off, because if he can walk, he can play, he feels.
Well, it was a different story perhaps for Dean Saunders, with a damaged back muscle that could go into spasm at any time. I think that's the feeling of Jim Walker, the physio. Saunders so keen to take his place in an unchanged side. There are some big cup ties coming up. He wants to be around for those. Fine tackle by Teal.
Needed to be as well. The first time, really, that Gary McAllister has taken a chance and gone forward. It's really on the back of a tackle, a clearance that breaks into a big hole. And you can see how important, how timely that tackle was.
Townsend, who was pushing. to tangle with Tranmere in the semi-final of the League Cup. Sean Teal will miss the first leg of that through suspension.
I think that must be a legacy of that important tackle on Gary McAllister. Certainly was the right foot he had to use to hook that ball away. And it may be that he clashed with McAllister's boot.
But if Aston Villa get through the semi-final of the League Cup, Ron Atkinson will meet at Wembley, one of the clubs that he's previously managed, either Sheffield Wednesday or Manchester United.
Well, he must be fairly happy, because he doesn't often sit up there for 40 minutes if he feels that things aren't going well.
Well, it looks as though there's damage in an area that you'd expect to be behind the shin pad. The pad's obviously been down the sock somewhere, because you can see it out on the pitch. It was a timely intervention. Howard Wilkinson, who's one of only 4 current Premiership managers who knows what it's like to win the Championship. The others, of course, in the top 3 positions in the table. Messrs Ferguson, Dalglish and Graham. Leeds would go 4th if they win here. Very honest challenge with Gary Speed, but the referee has seen fit to stop the play and give Aston Villa a free kick.
It was one of those. He could have pointed that flag anyway, and I don't think anyone would have complained, so why not keep it down? Let him get on with it.
Newsom. McGrath. Leeds are thinking about stepping up. Staunton. Atkinson just making a foot of space against Fairclough, but McAllister was there to help out initially for Leeds. Gordon Strachan, who'll be 37 on Wednesday. And thanks to pasta and porridge and plenty of rest, as he always says, is still able to perform in the Premiership. Speed. Leeds certainly standing their ground in midfield, where Aston Villa have plenty of quality. International experience of Houghton and Townsend. Lovely play by Leeds. Dean!
Well, that's the best move of the match, full stop. McAllister and Strachan, who I said at the beginning of the game, love to be on the field and close to each other. They have great telepathy between them, lovely interplay. And that's a great ball from McAllister, because Dean doesn't have to break his stride. It's played in front of him. He can take it on the run, but he really doesn't keep it down well enough.
And McAllister enjoyed the moment. Midfield players get the sort of satisfaction for that type of build-up that strikers do get from scoring. Garrido. And there's plenty, you would feel, Andy, for Leeds to build on from what we've seen in the first half. Such a contrast to their shambolic display in the first 45 minutes. Oh, talking of mistakes, Bosnick misses his kick. Can Dean get there? I don't think he can. Goodness me.
Well, they've rode their luck, Aston Villa. Teal against the bar. McGrath almost an own goal. And now Mark Bosnich joins in. He's under pressure. It's a very difficult ball for him to do anything with. The only thing that saves him is there's so much pace on it that Dean can't catch it.
Newsom. Hodge fighting for it. Oh, Kelly. I don't think he was aware of what was arriving in the shape of Dalian Atkinson. And it's a weak finish.
That's awful, Martin. That is complete... Well, I don't know what he's thinking about. Unawareness of players around him. A little bit of common sense, and look at Dean Saunders. He's tapping it in, he gave his side, a lead they probably don't deserve in this first half. If I was playing alongside him right now, his ears would be ringing, I can assure you.
Well, in many ways, it's been a strange first half. You expect class and quality, and Atkinson can show that in abundance. But he made a mess of that. So too did Mark Bosnich of his kick. The young man voted by One Football magazine the best goalkeeper in Britain. If he has a weakness, perhaps it's a bit of cockiness at times, and there was surely overconfidence in that attempted kick, which he wasn't set for. Andy Gray has defended Sean Teal's moment when he headed against his own bar, when he had to go for the ball. Paul McGrath also so close to guiding the ball into his own net. Some moments of madness here.
I think I said that earlier, Howard will also be happier, and as the half's gone on, the more happy he will be with the side's performance. The 25 minutes, they cancelled each other out, but Leeds have certainly been the better side since then. Apart from that one moment where Gary Kelly just didn't realise that Atkinson was about, and they really should have made him pay for it.
I think the number of stoppages that we've had suggests the tightness between the two teams. There have been so many challenges when players have been right on top of each other in genuine quest for the ball and trying to get the upper hand in the balance of the match. Jeff Ladley doing the repairing for Leeds United and Brian Deane. Daly. Deep into stoppage time. Staunton. Houghton, and the flag is up. Saunders was offside.
Great play from Ray Houghton. Again, it's the difficulty in knowing how to pick him up when he drifts across field. And Leeds don't do that. But how close is Dean Saunders there? There's not an awful lot in that, you know, when Houghton has the shot. Fractionally offside. What a great save from Mark Beanie. He doesn't know that. Great athleticism, but Houghton, that's that space to watch. Drifting across on the angle. Well, it's 0-0, Martin. Sorry, it's 0-0, and we could so easily be sitting here having a game that sits 2-2.
Absolutely. But more through defensive frailties than fine attacking football. Saunders, that's a fine turn. Well, it deflects to where Atkinson can chase. No time for niceties for Mark Beanie. Precious little time for anything more in the first half. It is half-time. Well, Mark Bosnich, he got away with it with a miss-kick. Sean Teal got away with a header that hit his own crossbar. Paul McGrath got away with diverting the ball just wide of his own goal. Dalian Atkinson should have scored for Aston Villa. That's the story.
Is our 50th Super Sunday from Villa Park this afternoon. No goals at half-time. As the teams come back out behind me, a quick word from Mel Sterland. Will Leeds be happy with the situation, Mel? Will they want 3 points?
Yeah, definitely want 3 points, but I'm sure the manager will be pleased with the first half. He'll probably just go out and tell them to keep going, keep battling, and, you know, possibly the goals will come.
What about Villa, Peter?
It was interesting to know from the stats that they had 51% hit the target more than Leeds, because I felt that Leeds were probably the better side in the first half. I would think that Ron's maybe given them a bit of a rollicking in the dressing room, and I expect better things from them in the second half, and maybe one of the shots to go in, as long as my nose gets better then.
It's a struggling with a cold today. Let's rejoin Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Well, Howard Wilkinson weighs his words far too carefully to be drawn into talking about the need for 3 points from any game. The two managers come out for the second half side by side. But I think the Leeds players know that they must get back to winning ways after a succession of draws and that defeat at Blackburn. They've done well, but it's still level here at half-time, and Villa with plenty of room for improvement in the second half. Here's Doringo. Glanced on by Dean, but he jumped with an arm up which caught McGrath in the face.
Referee was right on top of this one. Just uses it, keeps McGrath away from the ball. More like a handoff.
Strachan. Daly has been on the edge of things, really, as he is on the edge of the pitch there. Leeds have been very solid in their 4-4-2 formation. Now trying to open them up with a ball towards Daly. Deflects off Townsend, cleared by Fairclough. Glancing header from White. Let's get a quick word from Nick Collins.
Thanks, Martin. Well, a very quick summary from Ron Atkinson on the first half was he can't believe it's still 0-0 the way both defences are playing. Howard Wilkinson's words were, I agree.
Speak through.
And Gordon Strachan, was he acting as a peacemaker there between Jim Barron and the referee, or was he trying to provoke it more?
I think peacemaker. There's no doubt I think that Jim Barron and Gordon had little words there. But that was as far as Gordon wanted it to go, and quite rightly, and just stepped in.
Dorigo. He'll have to put all his effort into the jump. And more defensive confusion, which has been the theme of the game so far. Townsend.
Well, they're normally very good at the back, Martin, the back four of Villa, and know each other very well, but they've been very shaky today.
Townsend, as I'm sure you've spotted, with the strapping around the left wrist. McAllister. And Townsend with another heavy fall.
You felt that one. Notice that arms bandage as well.
Why me?
Well, if you play in midfield and you compete, then you've got to put yourself around.
That's the formidable frame of Brian Dean, who flattened him that time. Townsend might get a shot in here on his left foot. Well, the report on those who are trying to score goals, really on both sides, is can do better at this stage.
You mentioned Tony Daly earlier, Martin, and I think you're right, he has been on the fringe of things. Hasn't quite got himself into the game. I just wonder if it stays like this with Leeds looking the better side, how long it'll be before Big Ron says, let's introduce Dwight York, just to change it a little bit. Give Leeds a different problem.
Dean. For Hodge. It's a corner. There's been no shortage of those. Oddly enough, defending might suit Aston Villa. who look much more equipped to attack on the break than to sustain their attacking play. There's no one to fasten on to Atkinson's clearance. Kelly. Now Dorigo. Leeds still with a lot of players forward. Speed lets it run. That was over-ambitious. Cut out by Townsend. This is a Villa break. This is the sort of counter-attacking football that they use so well in away matches. And it's so nearly paid off. Well, you've seen the downside of Daly and Atkinson. That's much more the positive player that he can be. Match winner, potentially.
He's got a shot like a mule when he puts his mind to it. That's a magnificent strike. He can't hit that better, any better at all. And even though Mark Beanie's on that side, he has to do an awful lot to turn it round.
Townsend. There's the flag.
But it was a perfect example what you were saying about it might suit Villa to defend for a bit, because it's exactly what happened. They broke up a Leeds attack and they were away. And that's when the pace of Atkinson and Saunders and Daly could pay dividends.
And that might just be the spark that sets Atkinson going again. He had a very tame first half. Saunders. Atkinson. As he put Saunders in here, he might have done. The speed of recovery of Tony Dorigo. Saunders goes outside him and Dorigo's there again. It's a Villa corner.
There's a great example of the value of pace at the back. Tony Dorigo out the game for just a second. But with his pace was able to get back and stop Saunders getting a shot at goal.
Busy moving around from position to position in the middle, trying to distract defenders for those coming in behind, like Sean Teal. Staunton. There's no doubt in my mind that Steve Staunton isn't 100% fit. He's been on the treatment table this week. He's limping again here. He slipped McAllister well enough, but just couldn't go on, push on against Gary Kelly. Daly trying to get it across in behind Leeds quickly. It was a good idea.
Good idea, Martin, but I've seen the days when Tony Daly, given a yard like that against any full-back in the country, would have just knocked it out his feet and gone himself. But I think he may know that if he did that, then Gary Kelly would be right on him.
Of course, Kelly had a wonderful battle against Ryan Giggs at Old Trafford on New Year's Day. He's learning with every game. He's glittering with promise. And sadly, there's got to be a successor to Mel Sterland because of Mel's injury. Well, Leeds look as though they're blessed with an excellent one. Well, the adventures continue for Mark Bosnich.
Just mentioning Gary Kelly and Mel Sterling, the one thing I will say, if he learns to cross the ball as well as Mel Sterling could, I tell you, that will be another string to his bow.
In some difficulty against the persistence of Houghton. Townsend. McGrath. Good pressing though by Brian Dean. Leeds have looked the more compact of the two sides. At times, just occasionally, Villa have given us a hint of what could come. But it's the inconsistency of their play, but Andy suggests they are a better bet for a cup competition than winning the league, although of course they came so close in the championship last season.
I would suspect, Martin, that we're seeing a very typical home performance from Aston Villa today. Often frustrating, often very exciting, but really not consistent enough.
It looks as though there's going to be a substitution for Aston Villa. On that in a moment. Townsend. Houghton. Offside. Against Saunders.
Well, that's a move of promise from Villa. They've certainly started the second half far brighter. And that does suggest the manager's had a word or two.
Well, David White just for a second thought he was going to have a chance to stretch his legs goalwards on what has been a good ground for him in the past. But Brian Deane had been penalised for his earlier challenge.
Leeds' frustration was it was the linesman who put his flag up and not the referee who made the initial decision.
Staunton. Atkinson showing well for him. And then he decides to leave it to Daly, and in that decision, in fact, the chance of possession was lost. Daly couldn't get there. Richardson. It suddenly looked like a gap that the captain might career on through. Deane pushed by McGrath. Referee and linesman agree on that one.
It's not like Paul McGrath. There's absolutely no danger here. Where is Brian Deane going? He's going out towards a throw-in. He's going out towards the corner. He's no real support. There's no need for Paul McGrath to do that, and they could pay.
Leeds trying to go down the side at the free kick. It's a teasing cross by McAllister, and a great punch by Bosnich. Now, here's a chance for Daly to run. Kelly's the first player to go towards him, and Daly hesitates and goes back to Townsend. I think you can detect that the crowd wanted a bit more than that. Maybe Ron Atkinson wanted a bit more than that. From a player who can be so electrifying. Mark Beanie, head down and kicking through the ball. Beanie having better luck than Bosnich in that respect. Houghton. So the referee inconvenienced him a bit there. Well, neither side able to sustain any supremacy. Houghton. Forward by McGrath. Fairclough's header wasn't quite what Leeds wanted. It went to Richardson. And from then, Saunders almost slipped through. Barrett. Now McGrath. It's over Newsom, and Houghton almost produced a touch of a magician there. It was a very good touch, not quite good enough. Just ran a matter of inches away from him as he tried to control it on the volley.
Well, the long legs of John Newsom come in handy. It's a great ball from Paul McGrath to pick it out, but look at that for a touch. Couldn't have asked for any more than that, I don't think. It closed out by the two centre-backs.
Steve Staunton, as we rather anticipated, isn't going to finish the game here. Ron Atkinson lost his glasses for the moment. And he's lost his left back. But Neil Cox comes on to play on the right with Barrett going to the left. It's a recurrence, we're led to believe, of that ankle problem, which Staunton has been suffering from this week. Dorigo. It hits Cox. Oh, and Steve Hodge. The crowd will let him know about that. Hodge, who numbers Villa amongst his former clubs. Came Hodge's way as Cox blocked. Newsom. Leeds again, pushing up and trapping Saunders.
Keep looking would be the message, though, I think, for Dean Saunders here. It's fractionally offside, but again, it's only a matter of half a yard in it.
Newsom with the free kick. Dean trying to find it. He'll be 26 tomorrow. Present he'd love to give himself would be a winning goal here. Strachan with a chance to cross early. It's rather plopped it into the middle of the penalty area, where Bosnich had an easy decision to make and a relatively straightforward catch to accomplish. John Newsom, who played under Ron Atkinson at Sheffield Wednesday. Barrett. Well won by Hodge. Hodge trying to drive on. And maybe that was a bit fortunate for Dorigo. It went to Strachan, who kept the move going as he went down to Speed, who was living up to his name. Seal attacking the ball, not making contact with it, no complaints from Speed, and nothing too serious in the mind of the referee. It's just a free kick.
I tell you what, man, in a game though, we'll be talked about individual errors. At times, Gordon Strachan shone like a beacon. Two wonderful back heels. A bit of joy to watch.
And now maybe a free kick to help Leeds. Now he's going to leave it to McAllister. Newsom and Dean both attacking it. Out and letting it run. You think now, Andy, that it's time for Dwight York to be given the chance?
The only thing I will say is that if he was thinking about it, he may have put it on ice for a minute. With that enforced substitution of Steve Staunton, I certainly think it was something he was thinking about before then.
McAllister.
You just have to be careful that no one picks up another injury and you're down to 10 men too early in a game. You may leave it maybe to the 70th minute or something, Martin, before introducing them, if nothing happens to Villa.
Drops for Dorigo. Speed who'd taken the throw. There was no one going around the back of Brian Dean there. Gary Speed will tell you that over the second half of last season his form faded, and he's determined this season there will be no repetition of that. Recently back in the side, of course, with a great goal at Blackburn and another when it was needed at Oxford. Richardson. Well, there's a third runner in the race with Kelly and Daly towards the ball, and it was the man who won it, the goalkeeper. Cropping up on the left again. Villa's throw. Daly. Now will it break Villa's way here? Can Daly get in the cross? He does. Saunders! Well, in a game in which there have been muddled openings, that was a clear one.
The quality is in the cross. Puts it into a dangerous area. Saunders gets ahead of Fairclough. I tell you what, he should hit the target from there. He shouldn't be missing the target by a yard and a half from 4 yards. And I think Dean Saunders knows that. That was a glorious opportunity. Thanks to the cross of Tony Daly.
Atkinson. Saunders remains this lucky charm for Aston Villa in that every game in which he's scored, Villa have either drawn or won. And he should have scored then. A career with Villa that started against Leeds United at Elland Road 17 months ago. White. It's asking a bit much of Strachan. He did enough to force Teal to knock it out of play.
He was clever. We saw him point there. And Teal was going to clear as if he was saying to a player, go shut the goalkeeper off, and Sean Teal couldn't take any chances.
And of course, there was no player there at all. Was it handball? No. Villa fans thought it was. Hodge crosses. Hands to be used here. Legally enough by Bosnich. Bosnich has to apologise again for a kicking frailty, hooking that one beyond Cox and out of play.
Sounds crazy, Martin, but it is something he has to work at. Mark Bosnich's very talented goalkeeper, but Jim Barron knows, as an ex-goalkeeper himself, that in this day and age you have to be good with your feet, and it's something that Mark's got to work at. It really is.
McGrath into the back of Dean. Well, this is pretty much dead centre and within the range of Gary McAllister if he really connects. Oh. He connected all right.
Well, I'm amazed. Either Villa misjudged that, or they've got such confidence in their goalkeeper that they're not going to put a wall up. I mean, Gary McAllister's already shown us in his career that he's perfectly capable of finding a net from that type of range. And he really needed no encouragement there, not a wall in sight.
Well, the Australian bravado, of course, would answer, you keep doing that, and I'll keep stopping them if required, and if you want to put them a foot over the bar, it's all right with me. Interesting confrontation, though. It'd be nice if we get another free kick around that area. Newsom. What's Bosnich got up his sleeve here? A little dummy, and then he's put on the track. That doesn't happen to goalkeepers very often. And, well, has he gone down with cramp as a result of that? That's the usual response to muscles tightening up.
He's gone down, he's trying to just help this out of play, step over it, take that.
Well, Howard Wilkinson might say to Brian Dean, I'd like you to show that sort of aggression in the penalty area. McAllister, the two number 4s here, Teal and White. Strachan. If it's Strachan, it was inadvertent. Referee very close to make that decision. Good position from Jim Borrett. Dean. Well, there have been some fairly monumental clashes between McGrath and Dean. Hodge. Squeezing it on to Strachan. Villa have it back. but they give it away. That's, to some extent, been the story of the game. But the capacity to win it is still there for both sides. And there's still bags of time, more than 20 minutes to go. And in these circumstances, I think either manager would accept to win and worry about the means in which it was achieved afterwards. This could turn it Villa's way with Andy Townsend homing in. Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0. Home hasn't always been where the heart is for Villa this season, but they're in front. They've had to work very hard to get there.
Well, I said I'd like to see Townsend get forward more at the beginning of the match. And for the first time, he loses Gary McAllister. And Thor what's a really tight angle, squeezes it in. It's a lovely ball in behind John Newsom, who can do nothing about it. He's got no one up with him. He's got to go for goal. And he finishes it very well indeed.
His 4th goal for Aston Villa. The type of run that he makes so naturally, but he's always conscious about his responsibility in his own half of the pitch as well. On that occasion he got away. There's activity now on both benches. As we sort that out for you, Andy Gray with another replay.
Well, goals are always worth seeing. Neil Cox is the one who just plays it behind Newsom. And look at how Townsend appears from that central midfield area. Completely unmarked. He's got nowhere to go but goal. And he keeps it down, close to the goalkeeper's feet. And that's what makes it difficult for Mark Meany. And that's why Aston Villa are now in the lead.
Enter Noel Whelan in place of David White for Leeds United. As afternoons go, it's been a mixed bag for Andy Townsend. He's had plenty of pain, a bloodied nose, a damaged arm, but now plenty of pleasure. Arrigo.
This might now just be made for Aston Villa, Martin, because there's no doubt that Leeds will start to throw men forward, particularly from midfield. And that might just allow Villa and Ronak to this side the space to exploit Leeds United at the back.
Well, they will feel, Ron Atkinson and Jim Barron and Jim Walker there, that they're due a win against Leeds United. It hasn't happened yet, but it's looking much more promising for Villa. Ball out of play. A quick word from Nick Collins about the substitution.
David White suffering from double vision, we hear from the Leeds bench. That's why he went off. So injury rather than tactics. Look out for another substitution very shortly. Dwight York probably for Ray Houghton, who's got a bit of a groin strain.
Thanks, Nick. Corner for Leeds, hung up by Strachan. Newsom gets to it, but not effectively for Leeds. Out comes McGrath, who was wobbling before the game, but again is showing every sign of getting through the game. Speed for Whelan. Well, a little bit of an experience showed then. Could have taken it first time.
I think he just needed to take it across his body, Mark. Just cushion it as it's played to him here. Just let it go across his body a little, and it was open for the right foot.
Yes, actually, that replay shows that he couldn't have taken it first time, really. It came under his feet from Gary Speed. Free kick to Leeds.
Not easy, though, just to come on, and the first touch has got to be so important.
It is the substitution that Nick Collins alerted us to. We haven't seen much of Dwight York this season, the Aston Villa fans. 2 years ago, of course, he was the top scorer with 17 goals. Ray Houghton goes off. "16 minutes left. clips it in. Bosnich is a movement saying that's mine. And with the catch as well. The compact nature of Leeds United's play hasn't been in tandem with a cutting edge in attack. And they may pay a heavy price for that. They've been well drilled, well organised. But Aston Villa are always the sort of team that can carve something out through a bit of individual inspiration. And Villa can point to the fact that the ratio of shots suggests that they should be in front.
Certainly the better second half, Villa. John Atkinson was far happier with his team's response to his team talk at half-time.
Speed. Wigan still not really warmed up for the occasion. He's charging back to get onside and couldn't quite accomplish that. Well, it's a fairly healthy attendance, particularly given the timing of the rain that came stair-rodding down. Perhaps the time people will be leaving to come to the match. Fairclough knocking the ball away. The Villa fans might perhaps have taken a great deal of pleasure from the performance, but they're hoping now that it's going to be the right result. McAllister, Hodge. McAllister's now got to perhaps be a greater attacking influence, as Andy been stressing. Been very conscious that he shouldn't be getting caught too far forward, as perhaps Leeds were at Blackburn from midfield. But they've got to take a chance or two here. Strachan, off goes Kelly to the right.
Not even Gary Kelly's going to catch that. Didn't give him a chance.
Aston Villa can thank the pitch protection before the game. If the ground had been much wetter, as it certainly would have been, but for the plastic sheets, that might have held up for Gary Kelly. Teal. McAllister. Who got taken off last week at Grimsby. A tactical switch when Teal was sent off. He stayed on here. And with Ron Atkinson having made both his changes, he tries to supply Saunders, who's offside.
Again, it's only a yard. But Saunders is offside. He wants to get forward, and look at that. Is it even a yard? Half a yard even, but the linesman's spot on.
And Saunders definitely onside here. He's got two to his left. On he goes for goal! It was touched over by Beanie.
The one thing about Dean Saunders, whether he's in a good spell or bad spell, when he gets in and around the area, you can guarantee he's always going to have a shot at goal. Wonderful strike from a really tight angle. The goalkeeper has to make a very good save.
Richardson with the corner. Drops to Townsend, who turned past McAllister but knocked the ball too far. Well, you think about that Saunders shot, his header from close range, the Daly and Atkinson effort that troubled Mark Beanie, and the goal, evidence of Villa's improvement in the second half. More laboured look to Leeds at the moment. if they're rather fearing the inevitable. They've lost the winning touch. They'll have to go back to before Christmas to find their last 3-point haul. They beat Arsenal at Elland Road. Leeds have a player down. I think it's McAllister. And Villa have Earl Barrett well upfield. Townsend. McAllister's back on his feet. Speed. And the referee has given Leeds a free kick and wants to check out the state of the captain. I think the first half, Andy and Howard Wilkinson might appreciate that gave us the impression that the first goal in this game would be very influential.
I think he was probably happy to get his team in at half-time. They had chances, but I think as the half went on, they would have grown more and more concerned.
They haven't won it yet. Still time. Leeds, of course, got a late goal at Blackburn, and then having got level, lost it in stoppage time to the phenomenon that is Alan Shearer. Daly. But the scenario set for Villa, really, to play on the break. Leeds have got to chase on. Although at the moment they've plenty of defenders back to try and cope with York, who's helped their cause by only playing the ball to Brian Dean. McAllister. The England under-21 international Cox getting the better of the youth international Whelan. And again, Newsom. Speed. Whelan to glance it on. Richardson. York, who of course got the winner at Grimsby when he substituted for Dean Saunders. And on the subject of the FA Cup, that's where you'll find us on Wednesday night, the 4th round replay, and a fantastic evening it could turn out to be, whichever way the scoreline ends up. Luton Town and Newcastle United. If Newcastle beat Luton, they'll certainly do it by playing some sparkling football. Maybe it will go Luton's way. Has to be a result, of course. Dean is onside. And Bosnich, Mr. Cool. Strachan. Hodge making tracks into the centre. And that's really booted out of harm's way by the versatile Barrett. That's a fine try. Almost from the same position that he scored from at Blackburn, this time with his stronger foot, Gary Speed.
It's such a good strike because he's on the stretch, you can see that. But look at how he manages to keep control of it and keep the shot down.
Already had his best season ever in terms of league goals. And he's got 3 months to go to add to the 8 he's got in the Premiership. Strachan trying to get some urgency into the Leeds play. That's going to go down as a foul throw. And Villa quite content to take their time here. Richardson. And a win, of course, will justify going to Tenerife for the past few days. It's not the done thing to come back with a suntan and then lose at home.
Certainly supporters would feel that.
Maybe directors as well.
Well, that didn't cost them anything, did it?
So we're led to believe. Barrett, giving out the cross. Hodge. And McAllister. Tackled and dispossessed fairly, Richardson might have felt. The referee thought otherwise. Teal. McAllister. Now Strachan. Both Leeds bodies around the ball. Barrett taken by surprise by Daly, just rolling the ball into a space that he thought Barrett was going to sprint into to clear. Strachan. Now Whelan. Hodge and Dean in the middle. Well, the longer the game has gone on, the less effective Leeds have become. Satisfactory first half. A platform, perhaps, we felt at half-time for them to push on to victory. But every team will tell you at some stage in the season they have a bad spell. Leeds, who've done so well after an indifferent start, in truth. But at the moment, not finding the results that they require to sustain a challenge, first and foremost to Manchester United, and perhaps more realistically for second spot in the UEFA Cup place that means. Ryan Dean trying to direct the header.
Certainly looked very unlikely this half, as if they were going to score, Martin. I can't remember Mark Bosnich having to make the save of any note.
And Villa have managed to eliminate the self-destruct button that they pressed a few times in the first half without actually destroying themselves. But where there's life, there's hope, and there's Hodge. But even the penalty area predator from midfield, as Hodge undoubtedly is, couldn't quite get into the perfect position then. Newsom. McAllister just getting a foot to it before Townsend. Barrett. Now Kelly. Leeds really haven't been able to change the tempo of the second half, and they haven't taken any great risk tactically, pushing another player upfield. Sometimes the likes of Chris Fairclough have had licence to go in the latter stages. He's moving on now, and this might be a chance for them to wipe some of the smiles off the Villa faces. Strachan takes. Townsend misses. And the ball runs through to Bosnich, of whom an angle behind the goal might illuminate us.
Well, Gary Speed's the one who's in here. There's no Whelan, there's the first one that goes in, then Speed comes in behind him, and I think goes between Paul McGrath's legs and bounces harmlessly into the goalkeeper's arms.
Last touch of Villa leg. Now Whelan, the flag is up. Whelan looking for his first goal in the Premiership, and he'd certainly get his back slapped from his teammates if he provides it in the time that remains here.
Well, he will. You can see there again, it's a close decision, very close indeed.
That's one of the closest.
That one is close as anything we've seen. I think even then Sean Teal had everything under control.
Well, there's a booking here for Gary Speed. No, it suggests it was for talking out of turn. And the anger hasn't quickly subsided. Speed still pumped up, trying to help Leeds rescue something here. Offside, and plenty of those this afternoon. Crowd calling for the final whistle. Strachan darting across, first to the ball for Leeds. Speed. Well, the tackle was two-footed from Neil Cox.
That's an awful tackle. It really was an awful tackle. You watch the way he jumps in here. 2 feet. Neil Cox will claim he got the ball. That's not the point. That's an illegal tackle. That's a dangerous tackle. And I think you're going to find the referee's going to book him for it.
Well, it hasn't been a difficult game for Jim Borrett to control, but suddenly he's had to reach for the notebook and the cards right in the closing stages. First of all for Gary Speed and now for Neil Cox. But what he has done is given Leeds perhaps the sight of an equaliser. McAllister, Teal, for the umpteenth time in his career, heads away. Potentially dangerous situation. York, well, that's a weak one. Strachan, then it's McGrath, and now it's Daly and Atkinson with licence to run and licence perhaps to kill off Leeds and United once and for all. And who's there? Strachan, finding his energy. Tackle cheered as loudly as anything because it's used up a bit more time by Dwight York. Daly. Townsend. It's been this sort of game from first whistle to last. A lot of tackling, not quite the flow to the football perhaps that we all hoped, but a dramatic contest, two teams well matched, but Villa edging it. Well, more than that they will feel perhaps in the second half. Perhaps Ron Atkinson will believe that a second goal here in stoppage time would not be unjust.
I think half-time was crucial, Mark, and that's what you mentioned. Very much so. And since then, Villa have been the dominant side.
Barrett seemed to take a ride, but Leeds have the ball in any case. Long from Beanie. Richardson read it. Speed. Good tackle by Richardson. And there are all sorts of possibilities here for Villa. But York isn't in a hurry.
Well, just keep ball. That's what should be in Villa players' minds at the moment.
Certainly, that's what Saunders was thinking of as well. Cox. Aston Villa respond to their sunshine break with a victory. A worthy one in the second half, earned by Andy Townsend's goal 20 minutes from time. And it gives Villa their first win over Leeds since Howard Wilkinson brought the Yorkshire club back into the top division. Villa 1, Leeds 0.